Okay, I need to record. So wait a minute, child. All right, let me bring on my co-host. Let me bring on Sis Sandra. And then Nisi Poo is in the house and son Scotty, so they'll come up when they're ready. Peace and love, Sis Sandra.
Peace and love to you, Sis Rhonda.
How are
And
you?
the family. I'm good. Thank you. I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. It's good to hear your voice.
Thank you. It's good to hear yours. You know who I miss?
Oh,
832.
child.
Where'd he
Okay.
go? Where did he go?
I'm sure he's sick of me cussing him out on a regular motherfucking basis.
Exactly. You gotta get tougher skin.
Right. So I'm just assuming that. So, you know.
Well, you do your thing.
Right. That part.
Yeah,
So, yeah, he ain't been on here since I basically pretty much for the umpteenth time said I don't want to hear no whining and I don't want to hear about white supremacy and the white man holding you back. And I minced what I said and I said what I minced.
Funny you mentioned that.
Huh?
Funny you mentioned that. They just had that confirmation of that Chief Justice lady today. And somebody said that she would probably have Nuremberg trials for the Nazis, and probably get them off. And I'm like, I think it's Senator Scott or somebody said something like that. And so when you talk about white supremacists, this is the thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Biden supports the Nazis in Ukraine with weaponry. That's fact. The Azores or Azov or whatever they know. He gave them weaponry. So that's white supremacy, right? So when he asked that question, would she support the white supremacists? Everybody thought he was crazy. Because I guess he didn't specify clearly, or they just admitted that Biden gave weaponry to a Nazi group over there in Ukraine. So, I can understand since he nominated her and he's more like putting us up as fronts. He's putting us up. I'm trying to figure out why he put her up there in the first place, except for that feminine energy and putting her out front. So people would think that he's not a supremacist when he really is, because he did the 3 strikes law, authored that here in California. And so, and he always telling us, well, he has been telling us that we don't have any place in government at all. So then he goes and nominates a melanated female. And I'm like, what's the game? It has to be a game. Because now he wants to declare Putin as a Nazi criminal. I mean, as a criminal, a war criminal. Then the Nazis, how many people they hung that was all melanated? How many did they do in Germany? But yet he supports them. Mm-hmm. So this is double-faced, two-faced, whatever you want to say. But I'm just like, okay, I'm tired of the propaganda. I'm really, really tired of it. Because I think when soldiers go through a place, they don't have time to shoot you, then bury you. They just shoot you and keep stepping. And all of a sudden, they're being buried and hid and all that kind of stuff. I personally say maybe somebody that didn't like him and taking advantage of the war to kill him, and so on and so forth. But all these things he's saying that the war criminals that they did over there, to me, is suspect. And I asked some military people about, do they take time to bury folks when they shoot them? And they said, no, they just keep going. And then they come back later when it's cleanup. But I just, I'm just really don't know her position. And I did listen. I really didn't listen. So I really don't know because I didn't listen.
Right.
But I can understand his question of what part she has in being with Biden's nomination position. You know, what does he have? What is he doing? Of all people who can't stand this, and he's been saying that for years. And anyway.
Wow. Well, I guess we'll see shortly. Let me bring on Brother Sean. Son Scotty having internet issues. Don't feel bad, Son Scotty. I just saw where they're saying our stream already, YouTube is saying our stream already is controversial, and I ain't MF'd, SB'd, none of that. That's why I MF and SB on the regular, because I don't even be getting started, and already they like, oh yeah, we know how this broad is.
No, I'm already in the controversy, right?
It was you hadn't even gone into your spiel. I went into the studio for something else, and I saw we're already. I said, well, all I said was hello YouTube. Shout out to such so. We on part such and so. I ain't even MF'd and SB'd. Which is why I MF and SB on the regular, because it ain't even about me MFing and SBing. It's about the content. So
the music said they're gonna take down the giant. So maybe they didn't like that music. Hiya.
I guess. Let me bring on Brother Sean. Okay, Son Scotty. All right, peace and love, Brother Sean.
Wholeness and power.
Peace and love, brother.
How are you?
I'm good. How y'all?
Good. We good.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, hanging in there. Good to hear your voice.
Likewise.
Right. All
yeah,
right.
but they tripping. I don't know, the acting still ain't convincing.
No, it isn't.
It's terrible acting.
Really played.
D-list like a mug. Now YouTube, you can put the little warning on the video. Now we're getting started, but go ahead, brother.
Because that Biden impersonator.
Yeah.
I mean, how's they trying to pull this off? I mean, I'm just wondering how they gonna wrap the package up nice and neatly once the credits roll. Because I mean, who was playing him? And why did you get away with scaring the shit out of these dummies?
Yeah.
People are actually transitioning out of fear. And that ain't even the real dude. Call it the real shots. This is a script.
Not. His hairline in the back is short, is longer and everything. I mean, his head is not even shaped the same.
I mean, and that over there in Ukraine, that production is really terrible. I mean, they didn't do the special effects right. The carnage just didn't look right as far as
they look like they
for the bodies. We as a people that see people shot up all the time, we know what a real victim look like.
Yeah.
And that wasn't cutting it for me. I ain't saying shit ain't happening, but they got to stage shit a little better.
You know, they're talking about people out in the park feeding the pigeons, maybe, and all of a sudden, war hits them. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought war was already going on.
Yeah.
I mean, even the drama script is really bad. It's really, really bad. I said, they know a war's going on in their country. Why are they on the park bench feeding pigeons?
Hey, sis.
Yes, sir.
That dude who came on Top Cats.
Which dude? Cause which day was it? Cause I didn't catch his last live.
Oh, you was on there because you was letting the brother have it. He was all confused, and then he eventually admitted that his
was I in the chat clowning?
Yeah, he said something. He eventually admitted that his grandfather.
Oh yeah, child. He don't have several seats. Yeah, what about him?
Yeah, I mean the whole thing about what are the indigenous people doing, and that the Pan-African movement and all.
Oh yeah, that fool. Yeah.
I mean, Brother Top Cat was right in telling him about all the wars. But the thing is, we still fighting wars. It ain't ever motherfucking ended.
True.
He don't realize people like him, you got rights over here because we still motherfucking fighting.
Like I was telling him in the comments, take your ass back to Africa. And I wasn't saying it like that because I wouldn't be disrespectful in somebody's comments. Go back to Africa. Problem solved.
The thing is, we ain't as colonized as motherfuckers think we are. This shit ain't been going on as long as people think it is. And these motherfuckers never got full control. There's still so much shit they don't know, so much shit they ain't seen. And all of us ain't never went along with the bullshit. So they ain't never just had smooth sailing with this shit.
That's true. Now, you're not lying about that. That's true.
And you know, they're not getting away with this Ukraine stuff either, because you talk to people on the streets, they know he's a Nazi. They know that this is all fake. You know,
people over in Ukraine still chilling. All you got to do is talk to some of them. They still got the internet, Facebook, hey, goddamn thing. They ain't worried about the Russians. They still walking around, walking past them, everything. They ain't there to kill no citizens.
No. I know.
It's always going to be the opposite of what the media tell you.
Yeah, and they
going to tell you what's really going on over there. If you ask me, Putin got every right to do what he's doing. He didn't want NATO and them setting up shop right next door, right on his border with nuclear missiles and shit.
I'm going to be real honest with y'all. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what Putin them doing, Ukraine them doing. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I haven't been keeping up with it. That's none of my business. Now that's just my 2 cents. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna put my focus on stuff that's none of my business. And that's none of my business.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say it this way. In World War II, the Nazis were killing all minorities. World War II was about killing the minorities.
What minorities?
Huh? I mean, people of color. Let me put it like this. They were going out there killing all the melanated people. That's, you know, all the wars were about getting rid of us, right? So when Russia goes into Ukraine for those 2 republics, you know, because Russia was melanated. And those people are the same as it was in World War II, melanated minority mixtures, you know, where they mixed in with the populace, but they're Jewish now. So that's what Russia's supposed to be over there protecting, like they did in World War II. When Germany was fighting, you know, over there taking over Poland and all those places, they were getting rid of the melanated people.
What does Ukraine have to do?
Because that's
with World War II.
That's exactly what he's doing, like they did in World War II. Going in there and trying to, what Zelensky supposedly have done is launched a war against the melanated or the Jewish population of
so you're telling me that has something to do with, okay, let me rephrase that. What the fuck does that have to do with melanated or indigenous people of America? I mean, and it's okay for you to care about it. I'm just trying to figure out why folks are so invested in, especially melanated people in America.
Because if they get away with that kind of stuff with those bio labs and the destruction of the people that are part melanated or melanated over there in Russia.
What melanated people are in Ukraine?
They have Jewish people in Ukraine.
I asked what melanated people are in Ukraine.
The Donskis and Luhanskis people are part Jewish. Our people went over there back in the beginning of time. And they are Jew. Russia been Jewish with our people for 500 years.
So Jews are your people, right? Because they're not my people.
Well, they were melanated.
Just because someone is melanated, and that's no slight against Jewish people, does not make them my people.
Well, it's an interest to me.
Okay, like that. That's bad. Okay, all right, and that's fine. That's fine. So continue. So now he doing this for what reason now?
Now there have been Jews that was located. Somebody, Andrea Ellis. They have been prosecuting people over there. I think there's Jews against Jews over there, basically. And I don't know which one is what, but I did some studying on Jewish melanated people that went to Russia. I did, I looked at the documentary on that, and there was quite a few of them that went over into Russia.
Now, to be honest, what Andre says makes sense. Although I still don't give a damn, but it makes sense. That makes sense what he's saying.
Yeah, the Nazis settled over there in Ukraine. They did. And so they hid under the...
Like they came and settled over here too, right?
Yeah, they're over here too. You know they're here.
Okay, so, I mean, it is certainly your right to follow that. I just don't give a damn. That's just me. I don't give a damn because to me, now this is just me and my 1 cent. You cannot convince me that you just all was kumbaya, my Lord, and lock down the whole world. And now you wake up out of the bed and you have a problem with each other. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I don't care who is where. World 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're not going to convince me of that. This is a script that they are following. And it's not for any of the reasons that anybody has brought to light. There is no Russia against the United States. China and Russia together against the United States. It is a one world government.
Against the ones that don't want to be.
We keep saying it over and over and over and over again. Putin is no hero. He was put in that position like everybody else.
That's true.
That's why, now this is just my 1 cent, my opinion, and why I don't give a fuck about that Ukraine stuff. Because it's already a one world government. It's been a one world government for quite some time.
That's true. But we do have that King Alfred plan that they were going to implement. And I'm thinking if they can get away with all that kind of stuff over there, they may up and try it over here.
Let me tell you something. Anytime they can lock down the entire world, and not only did 95% of the world go along with it, they criticized the 5% that didn't. Don't tell me what they can't do over here. They have proven what they can do.
And that's the problem.
So no amount, now this is just my opinion. Nobody is going to convince me that supposedly what Putin is doing is setting an example of what somebody ain't gonna do somewhere else. When they've already proven to you that they will lock it down, they will force you, bully you even when it's concerning what to do with your own body, and 95% of the world will accept it.
I agree.
So you can't convince me of this, oh, well, you know, they doing that over there, so they won't. No.
What I started it out by this Khadijah, whatever her name is, Jackson and Biden. And what's the rub over here? Why did he put her up there, knowing he supports the Nazis over in Ukraine? That's what I was talking about. So
what does she have to do with that?
Yeah, exactly. So why is he putting her out there? Now, that's the questions I was asking.
But
I distract them.
Yeah, because I'm not understanding what she has to do with the Ukraine stuff.
Because
what's the correlation?
I don't know what she has to do with it. I asked that question. What I'm saying is that what is the point of him putting her up there when he knows he can't stand this?
Stand who?
Melanated people.
Oh.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, when
that's who pulling the strings. He know who he worked for.
Because he was really told to put her up there. I mean,
yeah, I'm sure he was.
He on his way out. They hoping that she part of the new regime and go have people food for a while just because she melanated.
Right.
That's the main reason
exactly.
Put her up there. Mm-hmm. It's a distraction from everything else that's going on. And the most important thing that it's distracting you from is yourself. It's all distractions.
Exactly.
If I can sit up and just keep pointing stuff out all the time, I don't have to follow this stuff on the regular. If you know the script, you can miss episodes for months.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
And still come in and know exactly what's going on.
Like a soap opera.
Yeah.
Shit, you could not watch the motherfucking stories for years, baby, a decade. Yeah.
And
you
still
come back in that bitch like, Victor's still on this. Exactly.
Right. And what's her name? Just waking up out their coma, their fifth coma.
Right. And such and so's evil twin done swung back on the scene. It's the same script.
Exactly. They haven't found the murderer yet, but they still looking and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so that's all I be trying to say. And I know I be on here like, no, what about and I'm doing that for a purpose, because at the end of the day, we should realize by now that it's all, as son Scotty would say, theater.
Yeah, it is theater. I agree.
That's all it is. And somebody gotta be the boogeyman. And I'm not buying it, and I don't give a fuck about none of that.
You know, but one thing that is really happening because of this theater, that the people who really got the hoochie coochie is waking up. And I've been talking to some of them, and they tell me who they know Biden to be. And I said, and it's like, good. I tried to tell you. But that's one advantage. Maybe he's not paying attention to that. The people are waking up because of what he's doing.
Well,
good
for them. Go ahead, brother.
The people that need to be waking up is our people. They plenty busy with all this other shit, trying to cover up shit, trying to implement the new program. They got a whole bunch of shit going on. It's the time to be taking care of your business, cleaning around your doorstep.
Around your doorstep.
What the fuck you need to do.
I mean, what I'm saying is people I know who are melanated, they're like, they could just tell you what's going on. And they talking to other people. I mean, what I did was I tried to tell everybody about that shop, right? The hoochie coochie. And they, you know how they were towards us. And what's happening is those people are actually waking up. And they talk about their families and friends, how they are viewing all this stuff now. And I'm like, yeah,
and they still behind.
Yeah,
they're still behind. And that be the part, as my aunt say, be frosting my tits. Don't come to me after the motherfucking fact.
It's too late.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, I'm glad they at least paying attention.
Because melanated people are always the fuck behind.
They're so busy in their comfort zone, they don't know that their comfort zone is not a comfort zone at all. You know, it's a disguise.
And it's even deeper than that. It's not taking care of self.
Yeah, that's true.
Because everybody in somebody else's motherfucking business, except minding and truly taking care of their own. Because when you taking care of your own business, I don't know how in the hell you have somebody else's business to mind. This is about not taking care of self.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't be wanting to hear it. People up there talking about, oh yeah, you was right. I just look at them with my scarf and get a vibration, get the fuck out my face. I don't want to hear it. Don't come running to me as the boat is leaving the dock and thinking we're going to stop that motherfucker. I don't know how you put a boat in reverse, y'all. I don't know how to drive no boat. I don't know how to put that motherfucker in reverse and come get you. Now you finna be standing at that motherfucking dock watching folks leave. And this is a continuous theme. This is how they keep running circles around. And I mean, literally circles around, keeping folks in a time loop because folks are not taking care of self. When you take care of self, you're going to pick up on these things. You don't have to have anybody running behind you, telling you anything.
Picking up on him. Trying to tell you anything.
So at a minimum, is if some at least people have learned me enough to say, okay, if I bring her something, she gonna research it. I bet, yeah, motherfucker, you better make sure it's right.
But you know what? They should have known from our past as a people of melanated indigenous people, that they use bioweapons on us. I mean, it's plain and simple. It's right there in your face.
I mean, at this point, now again, this is my 2 cents.
It's too late.
It's even deeper than that. Obviously, folks don't give a fuck.
They care.
They can't convince me that they give a fuck. No fucks are given on their part.
Exactly.
So it is what the fuck it is. They don't give a fuck. They don't.
Yeah.
Because if they did, people would make different choices. This shit ain't hard. If you can't do it for self, if you can't do it for your family, I know you ain't finna do shit but run your mouth. They don't give a fuck. And if we really want to be real honest, how can we expect for them to give a fuck if they have so many other pressing issues going on in their life?
Right.
We have to look at stuff in reality. Put it out there and keep it moving. Let the dead bury the dead. And quite frankly, it's not fair of me to be sitting up here shaking somebody, telling them, wake up, wake up, wake up, when they're not ready or if they're comfortable where they are. Who the fuck am I?
Mm-hmm.
They're not ready. Put it out there, keep it stepping. I don't have a problem with that. Only thing I have an issue with is when you come fucking with me. And I do have an issue with these babies. It's not fair to them.
Yeah, it's not.
But grown motherfuckers, that's not my business.
Mm-hmm.
Put that energy in getting the message out to these babies. That's who we put the effort in. But I'd be goddamn if I'm gonna sit up here and especially somebody of my generation, I wish the fuck I would be sitting up here arguing with, no, it ain't no, I don't give a fuck. Show don't. Nope. You've made your choices in life. If you don't know, you should know, and that's on you. Who I feel sorry for are their offspring. Let the dead bury the dead. I don't waste my energy on them. So it is what the hell it is. So, Brother Sean, you have any go ahead on with the fuckery?
What up, bruh?
We missed that last week. I think somebody had to put something on there for their last words. They was like, well, the words of Uncle Sean.
Through everything that's being discussed, ain't nobody talking about who we are.
Because they don't give a fuck. But keep going.
Exactly. Allegedly, all this is about cleansing, the truth coming out, good conquering evil, everybody being one, going off into the fifth dimension. But can't nobody tell the truth of who we are. And majority of them don't know who they are.
That part.
So it's best to just say we're all one. They want to talk about birthrights and what they're entitled to being Americans with all type of designations behind it or in front of it. I mean, what's in the title, actually? What's in the name, if anybody can claim it?
Ooh, Nisi Poo got something on that tonight, too. Nisi Poo, you got to bring that up about the names. Keep going, Brother Sean.
We say that we're this or that in honor of our ancestors. But what does it mean to be that? If just calling yourself that gave you superpowers, would none of us be in this shit, would we? What does it mean to be who and what you are? That's what they fear. They don't give a fuck what you call yourself. What they care about is that frequency that you exist at when you're being who and what you are. Hell, names created every day. Once you hit that frequency again, you might decide to call yourself something totally different because you're reborn again. But, you know, I guess everybody got some healing they got to do. I do too.
We all do.
But my healing don't require knowing who I am. We've always been told that everybody eventually admit that their grandmama, granddaddy, or somebody in the family mentioned Indian.
Oh, yeah.
Very few can get around that.
Yep.
But be proud of who and what you are, period.
That's right. And keep it moving.
If you ain't us, that's okay.
Show Liz.
I mean, since y'all say he created all these different things, this, that, and the other, all equal and everything, like, why not be proud to be you?
Right.
You're equal, remember? That's what your Sky Daddy told you, that we're all equal, except the chosen ones. But the rest of us, I guess, we supposed to be equal. But if y'all the chosen ones, rejoice. Let me see you fly home. Because you know the chosen ones ain't from here.
What you talking about? That 144,000?
They had 144,000. You know them tribes, them bloodlines.
That's impossible. It's impossible to remember.
I just know they late coming to get them. I mean, they know how to go back and forth in time. Can't they go back in time and pick them up at the original time that they were supposed to pick them up?
Well, that'd be billions of people, probably.
No, they said it's only 144.
44,000.
Yeah, they said
Right.
144K.
I just used to think about that. I said that can't even be possible.
But they should have enough room for 144,000.
Yeah, that's
just
nothing.
one of them ships. Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who claim that, and it's way more than 144,000.
What does that have to do with us?
Nothing.
Listen, Sandra, like nothing. She said that quick.
Because they'll be out of the way. We ain't got to worry about them no more.
Yeah, 100.
They gone with that low frequency shit.
Self-identified.
Exactly. And another thing, people that like to complain, other people don't like other people don't like being bombarded with your low frequency attacks, because that's all that is. When you feeling down and low and always want to complain and complain and complain, you bombarding other people with that shit. You bombarding other people with your demons. You trying to infect everybody because you can't handle your shit.
Sucker butt.
Yep.
Those are your demons. Quit casting them on a goddamn body else.
Exactly.
Which?
Yep. It make people don't want to fuck with you. It's like, you're depressing as fuck. I can't take it.
You're draining as fuck.
Yeah, it's very much so draining. You know the person, you only hear from them when you see your motherfucking call, your phone, you're like, I'm not answering that motherfucker. Because you know it's some dramatization associated
they
with it.
call with their problems. They don't call to see how you do it.
Right. And when they hugged up, like, bitch, when you hugged up and you having a good time, I don't hear from your funk ass. So don't be calling me when y'all getting into it. Bitch, I don't care.
It's like the flu. They have it, and then when they come to you, they give it to you.
It's just no type of, but people are selfish.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is about being selfish. People don't want to stand up on their own. Just because people are of age and adults don't mean that they are spiritually mature.
Facts.
They're just fucking selfish because they don't want to stand up on their own. They want to leech out and grab on to the strongest instead of doing the work themselves. And I'm not the motherfucking 1, 2, or 3.
Spiritual children.
Yeah. And they wonder why on this planet, although I don't agree with these parasitic ass motherfuckers, but they wonder why they get treated as such. And once I finally caught on, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. People really don't want to do the work.
Nope.
Sweet.
So if you don't want to do the work, if you don't want to be totally responsible for self, oh, you gonna get told what the fuck to do, when to do it, and how to do it.
Hey,
you know,
y'all.
just like you tell your children, you don't run shit up in here. I know that's what the fuck I was told.
But that
I
in itself
told
is
my
great.
dad today.
I know that's right, Niecy Poo. And I couldn't wait, goddamn, to get grown. And when somebody, my family got out of line, this right here, this my shit. If I want to say, because my mom used to say, if I want to swing on a chandelier, I couldn't wait to say, if I want to swing on a chandelier, and I added in cartwheel through here. Yeah, that part.
Uncle Sean said he got his dream picture. Thank you, Uncle Sean. It was an honor.
I love it.
It was an honor. one of a kind, ain't nothing being repeated. All of them are going to be different. So I'm so honored that you
Can
and
you
Auntie Lisa got
talk
my
about
stuff.
that real quick? Nisi Poo, kind of get a fam what it's about, and shout out to Princess Asia.
Yes.
So give us some insight.
So basically, like me and Asia, we always been into crafting and, you know, making different things. We used to, you know, back in the day, wrap crystals, and we still do wrap crystals. But as we were learning about, you know, through genealogy, learning about our American Indian ancestry, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start making some dream catchers. So me and her started, but first it was started with me because she's always like, I don't know how to do that. That looks complicated. So through trial and error, I think I made about 5 or 6 of them before I kind of got good with it. And then she would just do simple stuff like add the feathers. But now she's doing the web and everything. Like she got it. So we decided to use that as our peaceful protest, to let people know, like, you know, we're connecting with our culture. Each knot in the web represents an ancestor.
Nice.
The hole in the middle is to allow the good dreams to come through. And then the web itself is to trap the bad dreams. So when you're dealing with metaphysics and you put that energy into that, that's what it's gonna bring. The feathers allow for the good dreams to come down on you. So you want to hang the dream catcher close to where you're resting, over your bed or, you know, in your room somewhere. Another thing that I decided to do, I said, how can I support other Indigenous American Indian people through the craft? And that's when I decided, you know, we can donate part of the proceeds to different organizations. So we decided to team up with Helping Ourselves to Transform. That's Dr. Carmen Johnson, the sister who came on and shared her story. So go ahead, Brother Nuwa.
Quick question, thought process. And I believe instead of you giving it to charity, can I ask you to invest it into a stock bond and have that money incur interest and use the dividends to benefit the community instead of just giving it to a random charity?
No, let her do it the way she want to do it. How you gonna come on here and tell her?
I ain't telling nothing. I ain't telling nothing.
And her husband and Princess Asia daddy is a hell of an investor, and so is Nisi Poo. We was just talking about an investment before we jumped on the air. So no, now you go with that male energy trying to tell.
No, I'm not trying to tell her. I'm just giving perspective, Auntie. I didn't tell her to do
no. If she's telling you that she's taking part of the proceeds to donate that to a non-profit organization, let them be them.
That's fine. I didn't say.
And you know what? Let me tell you something, Nuwa. Since you had that beautiful idea, because there's nothing wrong with it. You go ahead onto my website.
Exactly. And you need to buy up 10. And maybe they'll invest that money. Maybe Princess Asia will invest what you donate.
No, but Auntie, you're missing the point. All I'm saying is the money that you would accumulate, if you get dividends out of that, you can use that. You can live off the dividends. We don't have to work for the money again. That's all I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, Nuwa. So check it out. You can actually do that. We can do that. So on my website, you can sign up and proceeds will go to you for the next month. And you can take those proceeds and you can do exactly what you just told me to do. How you like that?
Blink 75 times. No. See, this is where I used to get into 832 shit. Because you men, some of you men, not all of you men, and I say that out of honor and respect to the good brothers, want to come up here and regulate what the fuck a woman should be doing.
We're not regulating, Auntie.
Yeah, that was a regulation you just gave.
I did know, Auntie. It's not.
That is a regulation, and
no, it's not. No, it's not.
I take offense to it. And look at it. It ain't even my
offense
stuff.
to it,
It's
Auntie.
not even my stuff. I apologize, Nisi.
You shouldn't take offense to it because
I take offense to it.
You shouldn't.
Because instead of you saying that's a good thing you are doing, she don't need you to tell her what to do, sir.
I'm not telling her what to do. I'm adding to what she's doing.
She don't need your adding nor subtracting.
She should
so why don't you do? Why don't you do what you just suggested, sir?
I'm not raising a fund. All I'm saying is
so then case closed. You're not gonna do what you telling somebody else to do, right?
I am doing what I'm telling her to do. This is why I have the information.
But she don't need your suggestion.
Let her say that though, Auntie.
So basically, I'm gonna do a frequency break. Hold up. I love you, Brother Nuwa. I love you, my reflection.
I love you too. Right. I love you too.
So this is what it is, y'all. Brother Nuwa, what you're saying, you can actually do that. So next month, we're doing a whole nother nonprofit. And it doesn't have to be a 501c3. Hold on, let me finish. It could be just you, Brother Nuwa. You could just go onto my website and fill out that form. The following month, I have to pick another nonprofit, trust, whatever the entity is, and you will get the proceeds. And you can do exactly
from low battery.
Hold on.
I don't want the proceeds.
I hear what you're saying, but the suggestion that you made about investing it and then using those funds to basically, establish a nice framework to help our people in a better way, you can actually do that. I can send those proceeds to you. You can invest those proceeds and do exactly what, because I can't do everything by myself.
If you would like me to be a trustee for that, I have no problem with that. My only issue is that I'm saying is that I personally don't want it to be in my name. I would want it to stay in the family's name per se. I don't want to be the head. I would just be the trustee. If you guys would like me to manage it so it can benefit us as a community, I have no issues. But I don't want it to be Nuwa's fund in a sense. That's why I'm thinking.
So this is my way of giving back to the community. Right. So this is my way of giving back to the community. Right. I can create something and let people know, hey, y'all, we still here. Matter of fact, y'all made laws and regulations to try to say that you cannot create dream catchers unless you were part of a federally recognized tribe. A lot of people don't even know that.
Oh, wow.
And so now, because they try to protect the craft and basically say it's not authentic unless it's coming from, the federally recognized
How they
tribe.
gonna tell somebody? But keep going, Nisi Poo.
So when I went down into Oklahoma last summer, I saw so many dream catchers and they was made in China. I was like, how the hell? So I said, okay, you know what? Forget this. I guess that law is gone. I guess they letting Chinese folks make dream catchers. So damn it, I'm American Indian mixed with European mixed with whatever. At the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I want to do. So that's how that transpired. But yeah, so I wanted to touch on the names, the labels. I was listening to Brother, and this is my go on with the fuckery. So I was listening to the Autonomous Party, and they were talking about how these labels are all trademarked. So African American is actually trademarked. Indian is trademarked. So African American is trademarked by an Asian. Hold on a second. Daniel, let me finish this, okay? Okay, go tell Asia, okay? Thank you. Go tell Asia. Oh, Lord, I thought I was hiding. Anyway. So, and then Indian is trademarked by the Muskogee. So as we're going through these different labels, right? Because we know that we're more than a word. We're a spiritual soul being here on this plane, having a human experience, and all of these words can never define you. as a soul in your soul's journey. None of these words can. And it when it comes to having a standing in law, I get it, but whose law is it? Like, whose court are we actually stepping into to let them know that, hey, this is the term, this is the label that I want you to look at me as, when this entity is falling apart. It's completely falling apart. So us arguing over these labels, in my opinion, is a waste of time.
Come on.
So just to be
And
clear,
I didn't.
I'm sorry.
And before, hold on, I know you want to add on to it. And before I yield to Auntie Rhonda on that, I have to give credit to Uncle Sean for me coming to this realization, because he said it first.
He did. He'd been saying it for quite some time.
He did. And it made me sit down and really think about it. And he's absolutely 115,000% correct, y'all. We got other things to do, better things to do with our time and our energy than to argue with people who are looking for reparations, who will not get shit because they don't understand how the economy works. You're not talking and arguing with economists. You're talking and arguing with ignorant people who don't know how to do research, number one. And number two, they're on the bottom because they're ignorant, and they'll stay on the bottom through their ignorance. And they're not paying you a dime for the research that you've done. So at this point, if they ain't gonna pay the researcher, then they get the little nuggets they got when they got it and keep moving. That's how I'm looking at it. But
I'm glad you feel that way now.
I yield the mic.
No, I was just going to point out that, just to reiterate, the name African American is trademarked, right? That's what you said, correct, Nisi Pooh? That's what she said. I know she said.
That's exactly what I said. Yes, I'm trying to get them quiet.
Yeah, I figured that's what it was. So all of you all, you're getting reparations. This shit is hilarious to me. Under a term called African American, that's trademark. You all do understand how trademarks work, right?
And it's trademarked by an Asian woman, correct?
Right. Okay. The term Indian is trademark. And I think you said Aboriginal, if I remember when I first heard this from you.
Aboriginal is trademarked too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna double check because I got the link. If I can pull
it
it up,
is,
I will share it on the screen. I'm trying to get to it.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Yeah, so you getting reparations from your corporation.
I've been telling y'all. I've been
But you
saying
have
this.
to
I couldn't
pay.
keep my mouth closed.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Hey, brother.
I couldn't keep my mouth closed
Go,
for too
brother.
much
Peace
longer.
and love, brother. Go ahead. Go in. Let me shut up. Go.
I could not wait for too much longer.
Go ahead. Nope, I told you to come in when you're ready. Go ahead.
I've been saying this. Says the PT2a KV. I've been telling everybody. Unum Sanctum, when the Pope declared dominion over the earth, the self-free trusts, Attorney Regis, Unum Sanctum, and Convocation. They've claimed mind, body, spirit, and soul in this realm. And all this stuff is crown copyright, birth certificate, and I'm going to quote and I'll even show you the evidence. And it says, even on the legal fiction, they tried to give me the stupid thing. I'm going to put mine in trust anyway. I'm not even standing straight for it, but let me drop it anyway. And it says, not to be used as identification, crown copyright. Everything is copyrighted. They do intellectual property, copyright. They do trademark copyright, and they do crown copyright. It's all copyrighted. So the whole thing, all these names, fictions, is all run by the same PT2a KV system that I've already been exposing. I don't tell everybody this. Sean's been saying all of this stuff about whatever is coming that's new, whatever is coming to be created that's new needs to be created, that's fine. But whatever it needs to do that's new is not coming under any crown copyright, intellectual property copyright, any trademark copyright, or any other kind of copyright that's under that PT2a KV system. And I respectfully, sorry, Sister Rhonda, I respectfully yield the floor there. back to you. I just couldn't wait any longer for that.
No, I wanted you to jump in because I don't care how many times you get up here and say it, how many years, Brother Sean, he has been saying that for years. I don't know what folks want us to tell them anymore. So it's up to them. They can keep going down that path. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and lie. I didn't know individuals had went out and copyrighted those particular phrases, or titles rather. But like Curly put up here, the people who trademark or copyright, they get paid. Absolutely. Every time that is used and there is commerce involved, you got to pay them. And guess what? They can even tell you to stop using those particular terms.
Yeah, violation of copyright.
So what are you all really talking about?
The thing is, anything that's written within their text, anything that they have a contract, treaty, etc. with, is a defined character. It's part of the script.
Absolutely.
It has a definition in their books.
Absolutely.
Before all their laws, before they start telling you what it is, they have a glossary of what their words mean. So they have everything, as you said, copyrighted. They have all their words defined as what they are.
If you notice, they even started defining slang terms, shit that we said in the hoods, indigenous language.
Yeah, it's in the dictionary now. Holy shit.
Yeah. So now they're familiar with stuff that we say. They've taken the power away from those words. Go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't want to interrupt your thought. And I guess for me, that's why I'm like, what is this really all about? Is it really about titles? Or is it really about the bag or the alleged supposed reparations? Because to me, it's about all of that, except the most important thing, you and your family. And as long as you keep messing around in these squeets, making it about anything else but yourself and your family, you're going to keep getting got. Because the real deal, this is about your soul consciousness.
That's the bag.
That is the ultimate bag. Absolutely, nephew New.
And they got that consciousness tied up in the contract.
Exactly.
The legal fiction.
Because people don't want to let go of the title. They do. Brother Sean been saying it for some time. I've been telling y'all, you keep bringing on these legacies of trauma, holding on to these titles. And so now, once again, we're proving to you on the commercial side, people didn't set up here and put trademarks on them. So keep doing what you're doing, expecting different results. That's your business.
I wonder how you can find these terms on the stock market and see how they're doing. As our people sit up and embrace all these terms, get t-shirts made with them, have protests and slogans with them. I just wonder how much the value of that trademark goes up.
Facts.
Yeah,
right. Because besides their little donations, they got their whole little market profits to fucking buy mansions off Black Lives Matters mansions and motherfucking, civil rights fist imagery and all that type shit. All of that goes into exactly into a fund. So how much do you get off of all that? And who get paid off of all that? All of your suffering and all of your say their names and all of your out there marching and out there doing who get paid off of all that?
Right.
Your likeness.
Continuously. To be honest, they're getting paid off of your emotions. meaning your pain,
Mhm.
all of it. They're getting paid off of it, not only monetarily, but the ultimate from a spiritual energy perspective.
Your loosh energy.
Covification. As I
Because the
keep telling
corporation is a
everybody.
person, right?
Facts.
That's it. That's one of the free trusts. Covification. They get paid for the body, the turn of Aegis. Pope declared dominion over the earth, so they've got the earth claim, this realm, and then you've got covification, which is the height, width, depth, which is the octagon cube, the terms of octagon, and this octagon cube, which is the height, width, depth, which I'll show an image of it if I need to do, of 3D earth. And some of them are living on 3D, and some of us are beyond that realm as it stands right now. Getting back to what he was saying, and I agree with Sean, everything is traded. The Piscean construct, which is about to be got out and be destroyed, it's coming down anyway. But what's that going to be replaced with? Because I can tell you now, some of us on this panel, I'm not letting this whatever their fake version of this is coming in that they're trying to put in under this special drawing rights, and it's in the UPU codes. And so I spotted this a while ago. I thought to put it in the UPU codes so I know what's coming, because the UPU, Universal Postal Union, because everywhere all the piece of land are claimed through the zip codes, or in over here it's postal codes. They've claimed dominion over the earth, so everywhere it's being commercialized under this Piscean construct. When they put this fake version of Aquarius in that they're trying to put in, a new reset, and this Klaus Schwab and all his buddies who work for the Vatican and this BlackRock, we've been covering all this stuff. We made it very clear. All the stuff is being covered. And then and to say that it's the crown or corona, and then there's locked down the world for so-called 2 years on corona. It's not by chance they called it coronavirus or crownavirus. Crown. The higher divine feminine's coming in. That's coming in. They're getting everybody scared because they know there's a bigger shift in part of this realm that's coming from beyond the realm. This divine feminine, and I've showed image of it, and they know what's coming. And so they're getting people scared into their root chakra, into the loosh, like you just said, Scotty. And they're getting everybody on this low vibration because they know when this high vibration lick and it licks off the realm. And I've been showing this stuff, and this coils gets licked off, then there's going to be and it says in 144,000, and there'll be a new heaven and a new earth. Right there in the scripture, fam.
Right.
They know what was coming from, but they don't teach the masses.
That's the whole heaven and hell concept.
Right.
After this life, you'll be going on to their new concept.
And already, like how they trying to do when you talk about those special drawing rights and the postal and putting everything into these segmented jurisdiction, terraforming government, whatever they want to call it. They're going into this age of Aquarius or whatever we already in it, and the technology and the ages and stuff. They're already trying to do the same thing with so-called space, the terraforming and putting it into different cells, different little regions that are covered by satellites that are attached to certain geographical regions. So, I mean, while we think it's just like, right here on this plane, and the space is fake or something, while it is, they are terraforming into the different ages, into the different realms. So it's like you're like my Rhonda say, the astral realm ain't even safe. You got to protect yourself out there as well too, because like they going at it from all levels. Like that image that Bro Odel showed where it's showing reincarnation. They gonna give you this fakeness of coming into this realm to trap you. Oh yeah, and that's what I wanted to say about with my go ahead with the fuckery about the age of ascension, and that we going into this and just the trap of ascension. Like, I feel like that's part of it. Like, yeah, we need to raise our vibrations, but I feel like the ascension part of it is like, that's the trap into getting reincarnated back into here.
Agreed. Because you have to to be really honest, if you understand these ages and this clock, and how if you stay on the frequency that they're trying to mandate, you're going to keep going around this wheel. So what I'm showing you on this screen, this is the astrological clock.
Yep.
This is the trap.
Right.
This is the cosmic colonization.
Right.
Okay.
And you see your piece
sorry,
is
go
when you
ahead.
get born. Like I'll say, you pick up your piece. When we say you get off the board and you're a player on the board, well, they make you think that you're the player by when you get born. You have what's your geological sign? What's your birth sign? And that's when now you pick up your piece. I'm a Libra, so now you play out the Libra role. But what did we learn? We're supposed to be the center. We're supposed to be trying to wholeness and power, become whole, not the piece, not just the Libra, just the Capricorn, just the whatever, because that's the play, that's the character they're wanting you to play out essentially. So that's
exactly. And so, like, for example, if you look at the screen, they have you see the Pisces. And then the water is Aquarius. Each one of these particular astrological signs, and this will be a great segue, Brother Odel, into your drop tonight.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna turn it over to you. Each one of these ages has a different frequency energy that they have set on the planet for control.
Exactly.
So even if they tell you we're leaving the Pisces age, and remember Pisces ain't Jesus or Jesus is equivalent to the Pisces. Yeah, he is. So we leave in the Pisces Jesus age, which is why a lot of people are waking up out of religion. They knew that that was going to happen because it's a different energy frequency. Yeah. So they put in this whole ascension, conscious, collective approach and Aquarian age to just re-trap you. Because you have to realize that you are beyond all of this around this wheel.
Yeah.
I would say that's you in the middle.
Yes.
That's in the middle. Like that's the Merkaba you're looking at in the middle, that they've fractalized into 12 different parts.
Exactly. Like when Ma say get off the board and Brother Sean say you gotta create something new, like that's like on the people think of that just in the 3D. Like, no, like in the whole motherfucker, your whole cosmic being, get off of that motherfucker, create something else. So you don't gotta be like, for me, you don't gotta be a fucking Capricorn. You don't gotta be any of that shit.
Yeah, you gotta be
create something else. Like you don't gotta be a sign or come from this constellation or whatever the fuck it is. You can just be something totally of your own making.
Or having to define yourself because you were born on that particular day at a particular time to say that's who you are. No, it's not.
And that's even wrong.
That's consent.
And you know what? That's even wrong. So, because Brother Odel is going to get into that. So I'm fencing to turn it over to him. So even this zodiac clock that they're giving you, and I know Sis Sandra and Brother Sean, y'all going to remember because we talked about that.
Yeah.
But what they're giving you, it's still got a missing piece to it. So with that said, welcome,
can I say one
Brother
thing?
Odel. Wait, let me just at first welcome him, Sis Sandra, and then I'll let you put something on it. So welcome, Brother Odel. We're glad to have you back. Brother Odel is our brother from the UK. So he's here to, let's get into these things. So go ahead, Sis Sandra.
So they're planning it already because they're advertising now that the West Coast is going to be hit by a disaster after disaster after disaster based on climate change. They're putting out dinosaurs that was hit with an asteroid, and they said the time frame of that period is going to be 26 million years. So they're trying to get people scared enough to understand that California's about to drop in the ocean and that everything, the whole planet is going to be shifted and changed.
Don't surprise me.
No. I mean, it's on currently AT&T, they just out there talking about it.
Well, they're bringing it into existence. It will say they're getting people ready. I just say, what's the word they use? Where they pre-program people.
Right, because the collective consciousness brings stuff into existence.
Yeah.
Like they're
Because
feeding
remember, I told you they're not going to do anything without your consent.
right.
Because
Hey,
that is
I
a violation of universal law. I'm sorry, go ahead, Nisi Poo.
I like to say something because when I was preparing for the land report, there was something that was passed that has to do with climate change, and they're connecting that bill or whatever they passed it. I don't know if it's a bill or what, but they passed something that's connected to climate change, and that's part of the reason why they're giving the land back to these so-called tribes.
Where did I read that? I read that too somewhere. I read that a couple years ago, actually.
Yeah, I can bring it up if y'all want me to. I can read it real quick before Brother Odell gets in. I think I could cover it in less than 5 minutes if there's no interruptions, if y'all want me to.
You
And
okay
I have a
with
metaphysical
that?
report afterwards, sis, when you're done.
You have okay. Brother Odell, I have to be respectful of his time.
Absolutely.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Do whatever. Yeah, man. We can roll with the pitch.
Okay.
Roll the punches here. That's fine with me. No problem.
Okay. I want to be respectful of your time. Okay, you go, Nisi Poo, and then nephew Nuwa, you can go. Okay, we ready.
Okay, I promise not to be longer than 5 minutes. Okay, so let me pull it up real quick. This is gonna come straight from the Department of the Interior. That way I can give y'all that so-called law that they passed. All right. So this is coming from the U.S. Department of the Interior press release, April 1st on Fool's Day. Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Secretary Haaland celebrates Rappahannock tribe's reacquisition of ancestral homelands. Now, this was also on CNN, y'all. So Auntie Rhonda had pointed that out, like it actually hit mainstream media. So Secretary of the Interior Deb Haaland and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Director Martha Williams today celebrated the Rappahannock tribe's reacquisition of 465 acres at Fona's Cliff, a sacred site to the tribe located on the eastern side of the Rappahannock River in Virginia. Prior to a community celebration event, Secretary Haaland met with tribal community leaders, service employees, and conservation organization leaders to discuss the natural and cultural significance of these cliffs and to highlight the department's commitment to partnering with tribal communities and honoring its federal trust responsibility. The department is honored to join the Rappahannock tribe in co-stewardship of this portion of their ancestral homeland. Keyword, co-stewardship. We look forward to drawing upon tribal expertise and indigenous knowledge and helping manage the area's wildlife and habitat, said Secretary Haaland. This historic reacquisition underscores how tribes, private landowners, and other stakeholders all play a central role in this administration's work to ensure our conservation efforts are locally led and support communities' health and well-being. Okay, now here's the part that goes with the climate change. These efforts help advance the Biden-Harris administration's America the Beautiful initiative and ongoing efforts to support local and tribal-led efforts to conserve, connect, and restore lands and waters. Now, I can keep going with this particular article, but I didn't do that in my research. My research said, what the hell is the America the Beautiful initiative? So I clicked that link, and it took me to this. At the Department of the Interior, we know that natural is essential to the health, well-being, and prosperity of every family and every community in America. From the bounty of the Great Plains and vast coastal forests to the high deserts of the Southwest and beyond, our lands and waters define who we are and who we as a nation want to be. As directed by President Biden's Executive Order 14008, I'll repeat that, as directed by President Biden's Executive Order 14008, tackling the climate crisis at home and abroad. The Department of the Interior has partnered with the Departments of Agriculture and Commerce, National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration, and the White House Council on Environmental Quality to develop initial recommendations on how to advance an inclusive and collaborative conservation vision. President Biden has issued a call to action that we work together to conserve, connect, and restore 30% of our lands and waters by 2030 for the sake of our economy, our health, and our well-being. So I'm gonna stop there because they basically are telling you what they're doing. Oh, let me read this part. This is important. The initial report released May 2021 outlines the key principles that will guide this conservation effort. Number one, pursuing a collaborative and inclusive approach to conservation. Number two, conserving America's lands and waters for the benefit of all people. Okay, all that's crap. This is the important one. Honoring tribal sovereignty and supporting the priorities of tribal nations. So basically, he's put out this executive order. I knew it wasn't a bill. 14008, dealing with tackling the climate crisis, and partnered up with the Department of Interior to restore lands to the American Indian / Native American / indigenous tribes so that they can be proper stewards of the land again in order to tackle climate crisis. I yield.
Hey, sis.
Thanks for that, sis.
That's an American Declaration of
Indigenous people.
right?
Exactly. It sure is, Brother Sean.
Yeah, I forgot that.
It's direct, those direct words, because it says you have a right as the indigenous people of the land, because you can only, it even went so far as to say that because you can only do it.
I got a question. Do you think it would benefit us to argue to Deb Haaland who we are versus these Pan-Africans online? I'm just saying.
Who is that? Who?
Are we arguing Pan-Africans for still in the first place?
Who is
No,
that?
I'm just saying. Who's Deb? Deb Haaland is the Secretary of the Department of Interior. And when I looked up her position, it said that her position basically trumps the president.
Yeah, go talk to that woman.
So if we are basically saying, and I'm not saying this is everybody, but I do hear people talk about this a lot. If we're saying that we're the indigenous people, why are we arguing with people who don't research and who haven't done that, and they're saying that we're Pan-African? Shouldn't we be telling Deb Haaland we're indigenous people? And trying to work with Deb Haaland possibly to preserve our ancestral land where our ancestors are buried?
The Pan-Africans are the distraction.
They already know who you are. I've been telling you.
That is the brother from the UK. This brother's from the UK.
They already took a cover vacation. You told me this, sister. You see this. If you was in the hospital and you had your children in the hospital, they already know who you are. They take the blood, cover vacation, they pick the soles of the feet, and then they drop that onto the birth certificate. And that bloodline, they know who you are already, because it goes into their record. They already know who you are, because they know through the bloodlines where you are.
That's a secret.
So they know it's already you. They're just playing games. I'll yield the floor respectfully.
Agreed. So,
yes,
go ahead, Brother Sean.
The thing is, when are we going to be who we are? If we say that we got this relationship with Mama, and we're the ones that's supposed to be able to help heal her, if we're not demonstrating that, anybody can claim that name and title. That's what's going to keep people fucked up. That's what's going to get them the 1,000 years of peace, because these motherfuckers that's pretending to be us,
Right.
it's gonna get handed shit.
And it's trademarked. Don't forget that.
Exactly. Because that's all part of their script. That's part of their system.
They need you to fall in that particular
And
category.
our reality, which we're supposed to be creating, if we're doing what we're supposed to do, doing our part as far as for stewards and guardians for mama, we automatically rise with her. You know that they can't stop her from doing what she's going to do. They already can't stop her. She's already gone beyond anything that they've expected. That means we can go beyond anything that they expect.
Think of that.
They're laying the parameters for what they want you to achieve. That's why they keep telling you about the fifth dimension, this, that, or the other. That way you powered up some.
Yeah.
But they can feed off of you longer.
In their box.
They can get a better, more nutritious meal off of you with some of your chakras open.
Because they defined how to open them.
Yeah, you get 1,000 years to charge your shit up, get your shit together, get to feeling all happy.
Yeah.
And this, that, or the other. Then after that 1,000 years up and they drop the bomb, the emotions that people are going to feel, the feeding frenzy that they gonna get at that time, the rush.
Yeah.
That's like with crackheads when they hit that boy that first time.
Adrenochrome. That's what that is.
Exactly. And then you're constantly chasing that high.
Yeah.
1,000 years of peace, because the realm tied to the Aquarius. This is why I read the Revelation. I talk about the 7 years of Revelation. I've not even got that far yet. Never get that far. And the dates that they've planned for it, and we're in that second half now. Now, if I get to this, I'll be able to show you it. But they've got the whole Revelation thing planned out, and the 1,000 years of peace is because the first 1,000 years is ruled by Uranus in this realm, and then the second 1,000 years is ruled by Saturn, and they know this, and because they know, and they're under the Saturnian stuff now, they know that they have to give this 1,000 years so-called break, because it's in the realm, it's in the clock. But they know after that 1,000 years is up, they can go back to being what they was before, because it transfers to Saturn, because they know how the clock works. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And that's not even a real clock that Raven is supposed to be on. There's one that they use.
That's not even a real clock.
Yeah, and there's one that they use the real one. I'm going to show an aspect of that if I get a chance. They use the real one and keep us on this tropic astrology, when we know the sidereal one's the real one, because it's based on where the sun sign is, and that works in terms of where the realm is in terms of this Saturnalian stuff, and that gets back into what we've been talking about, which is realistically how the real clock is running on the 13th parallel. It's running on the 13th because they knew there were 13 constellations, and they kept that from it. I'm going to go in on that anyway, and they already knew this, sister, and they know full well that they've got this whole thing, this next narrative, this next global currency reset, this next reset is in play, because they know without our agreeing to it, our consent, they can't reset the realm. They can't do that, because they know we're in a bigger galactic natural ascension cycle, where if those who receive the crown or corona will be leaving the entire realm. I'm going to show a picture of this in a second if I get a chance to get up. But it's new. I wanted to say something, so I don't want to cut him off. But I'm agreeing with the sister on this. This whole thing that they've got planned, they know that there's an aspect, an element of this that they can't control, and those who are going to exit the realm will exit the realm, and that's going to leave people questioning this whole next 1,000 years of peace due to the so-called 144,000, which is to do with your crown chakra, which is the 144 points of light, which is to do with the crown or corona. But they don't teach the people, they don't teach the masses. But anyway, I yield the floor.
And all I just gotta say, just real quick to Nisi Poo, I hear exactly what you're saying, and if that's the avenue that people want to go, why not? The issue that I have, and I'm on the outside looking in, and again, this is just my 1 cent. nobody has still come forward. You know, we're talking about this indigenous people's movement / Indian movement, and you're going to them saying what? Okay, we're the indigenous people. Then what? You see what I'm saying? Is it organized enough to, what do you want?
So from what I'm reading, and this is the tidbits that I pulled out of it, to preserve their ancestral burial sites. So as we're doing genealogy and we're finding out our ancestors are buried here, 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 and here, right?
Yeah.
And we're able to go and see, okay, some of these sites, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, some of these sites are getting excavated and developed. They're taking the graves out, and we don't even know it. A lot of us don't even know it, you know? So I feel like we got to get to a point where we care about our ancestral burial sites.
Acknowledgement, at least.
And acknowledgement. And then there would be no argument of who we are. You know what I'm saying? So if we can think on that level, maybe.
Shift at least to that.
That's the point.
They ain't never gonna recognize any of our real burial sites, but they gonna prop up these y'all mean to tell me y'all got some real burial sites that y'all ancestors said? First of all, that sounds like some lies to me off the bat. Just trying to solidify them as being indigenous people. But even if we did go to that, they did so much hiding and trying to reconstruct our actual connection to this land. Even if we did have the real evidence, like, they gonna be like, hold the fuck up now. We've been trying to bury this evidence.
That's okay. That's okay.
Like the
I guess,
American
I guess for me, this is why nothing ever gets done.
No.
Because you don't have a plan. You don't have a plan. So if I step to someone and say, I'm such and so, and okay, and what do you want? You want to join one of these what's-a-face civilized tribes and be up under the BIA? What do you want? And quite frankly, to be really, really honest, I went over all of this before, but nobody ever pays attention. So it is what it is. They wrote out a manifesto for the indigenous people. They wrote it out telling you what you have a right to.
Yeah.
But nobody reads it. How many shows did we do on that, Sis Sandra and Brother Sean?
About
2 or 3?
Something like that.
It wasn't Rhonda's documentation. It's their documentation that they say what you have a right to. But nobody's focused on that.
So, yes. And I'll say this. Who are there in so-called authority to tell you you've got a right to this, that, and the other?
Exactly.
They're not even a folk. They're not even a your government. They're not your
government. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And the things they were saying in there, Brother Odel, it's stuff that you have a right to as a divine being. It's telling you have a right to self-govern. It's telling you have a right to clean water, clean land. It's telling you have a right to self-educate your children. It's telling you have a right to build strong communities.
You have to stand on it.
You have to stand. That's exactly what I was about to say. Reflection. You got to stand on it.
Exactly.
And stop arguing with people.
And that's why I don't have it to give. Y'all know my nerves is bad. I don't have it to give. People are out here pretending, thinking they have to reinvent the wheel.
Nope. Can't reinvent yourself if you already are and is.
Right. I am because I am. And anywhere I go, I'm supposed to be creating that peaceful environment.
Facts.
So when people get upset with me, when I tell melanated people, you have yet to prove that you can create a peaceful environment, because most of you, when you walk out your door, it ain't no peaceful environment.
Your mindset when you walked out that door wasn't peaceful.
So exactly what are you going to them asking them? For what?
It doesn't
For
You
hold
great-
asked the thief permission to take back your
Right.
ship.
It's a drip. Thank you, Sis Thelma. Sending you hugs.
It doesn't
We
hold
went
up.
over that in detail.
It doesn't hold up in court.
And nobody in the indigenous Indian community talks about it.
Right.
So
We
hold on,
ain't
wait.
the first
Sis Sandra,
people that went over it. We're not the first.
she
But
said
nobody
it doesn't
else
hold
brings
up
it
in
up.
court.
Huh?
Sis Sandra just said it doesn't hold up in court. What do you mean it doesn't hold up in court?
Because
What is
if you mention who you are using the A drip, and say I had a case and I mentioned that, and my right to, recompensation for losses, right? You think they cared? No.
Where does that say in A drip?
that they're gonna compensate you?
It compensates you. On
Compensate you from where or what?
Exactly.
I'm
Where
gonna
does
ask
it
that
say
question.
that in A drip?
It doesn't come. I wasn't trying to get compensation for land or nothing like that, but to identify myself as my right to compensate from damages for something that had happened.
I'm gonna ask again.
You got raped.
Where
You're gonna
does
ask
it
for
say that
compensation?
in A drip?
Well, it does say. Well, I don't have it in my hand, but I did use that phraseology that was in A drip to bring that to the courts, and they didn't pay any attention to it.
I'm glad you said where. In which? Can you say which court, please?
It was in the
It's
civil.
not an Article 3. It's got to be an Article 3 court, if I'm not mistaken.
You have to go up to the Article 3, and they wouldn't even hear it. So
Yeah.
I started in civil, and I tried to go up to Article 3, and they called it.
So you're telling me
I'm glad
you
you
went
said
into
that. I
court
started
and
in
you
civil.
brought up A drip and they told you to kick rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, in civil. I'm glad you said civil because people don't know the difference between civil and criminal. But civil, what is civil? They didn't acknowledge you in civil. Why did they not acknowledge you in civil?
Because they use options of what they want to hear and what they don't want to hear. Plus the fact
And what jurisdiction is civil
what
in?
jurisdiction is what jurisdiction exactly. So they have
Civil
this,
in.
they have this optimal clause.
He's asking you a question because
Yeah.
he's trying to put y'all up on game. And I know you keep saying this over and over, Brother Odell. And
Oh,
you
walking
see why
into a
I
trap.
don't be liking to go over this stuff.
Walking
Y'all know my nerves is bad.
'Cause
So
that civil word is
just
real
can you
tricky.
state again what it is, Brother Odell?
What jurisdiction is civil?
That's the local county level, right?
Right, yeah, but what jurisdiction is that? Do you know what jurisdiction it is?
No.
All right, I'm glad you said that. Thanks for being honest. So civil is strictly contract. What does contract come under?
Consent.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. So they're using the principle of free will. But what jurisdiction then is that in? If it's commercial contract, I'm saying it. If it's commercial contract, I'm saying it in the words. If it's commercial contract, what jurisdiction is that in?
What is it? Mercantile.
Commerce.
Commerce and maritime.
Exactly. And I wasn't going to
Maritime,
answer. I was not going to
contract on the
sit here and answer.
KV.
Yeah.
Still unum sanctum, still attorney regis, and still convocation under civilian mortus, and you're legally dead. So they can't recognize you. You're legally dead.
Exactly.
Civilian mortus.
Now you can't say
Legally
exactly,
dead.
Sis Sandra, if you went up in there and did that exact same thing.
Well, I did something else too that got me out from under the maritime. There's another. I forget all the documents.
No, you're still not getting me. You're still
No,
not getting me.
they never do. They never do.
That's why I said what jurisdiction.
Yeah, you can't even get out of it.
Thank you. Because that jurisdiction, that building, that land that they claim, because it's got a zip code, and the judges sat on a bench, and bench Latin means bankers. So the moment you enter into that dry dock,
they have jurisdiction over you. Exactly.
Exactly. They did.
You're on their ship, essentially.
They're on
Exactly.
their ship in the Piscean
Exactly.
construct. Legally did.
And
Says
they-
the 2a KV. Civilian mortals, legally dead. It don't matter what you say.
America.
It was on paper.
Yeah.
You
The
legally
fringe on the flag.
did. On paper. You're in that jurisdiction. Legally did. No matter what that judge sees in front of you, you've been in there. The instant you step in there, you're already dead. Civilian mortals legally dead. That
Yeah,
means
you
they
walk
can
in the door.
maladministrate that issue that you're bringing up, no matter what that issue is. It's their discretion. They're administrating that estate. No matter what that matter is, they're administering an estate. Says the 2a KV under that Piscean construct. Go ahead, Sister Sandra.
Even their attorneys are actually dead in the water. They don't do anything.
They're
for you.
officers of the court. I'm gonna
Exactly.
Have a bar. Remember, they took an oath. They took an
all right,
oath.
you lot do what you're doing, yeah. And when you finish, please let me bring some up because I'll just clear
Yes,
this
yeah,
up.
you got it. You already got access. So bring it up. Let me pull this up. So as soon as you bring it up, I'll bring it up to the fam. So you should have access.
Yeah, let them finish up, sister, and then I will get rid of very clearly. I will get rid of this court issue once the brothers
You're
and
not
sisters are
going
finished.
to, but it'll be okay for a few weeks, but it's gonna come back up. And that's okay. It is what it is. I'm used to it now.
All right, let me take my shot quick. Then
Okay, while he's bringing that up, sure, nephew, go ahead.
All right, so Auntie, I will need the screen share if I can get that.
Yeah, I gave all of y'all access. So
So basically what it is, Uncle Bobby Hemmett came and paid me a visit, and he wanted me to drop a perspective on the fam. So this is the
wait a minute. Let me get it up first, nephew, because I got.
Yeah, that's fine. I know.
That's so funny, New
you know.
because I was just looking at some Bobby Hemmett stuff too. But go ahead.
Well, like I said, he did this particular friggin' conversation. He touched me in a way where I had to share it because basically he was giving
shout out
props
to Bobby Hemmett. Shout out
Uncle
to
Sean.
Bobby Hemmett. Okay, go ahead. You
Is it full screen or how is it looking on your side? I don't
let
see
me
it
check. Let me check and see if YouTube can see it. Hold on a second.
because I'm watching no, I don't see it on there yet. So, but yeah. So, anyways, the perspective was Uncle Sean is right, and he's basically telling me that we should look at the information that they gave us from a different perspective.
Yeah, it's showing. Go ahead. It's showing.
All right. All right. And the perspective basically is that everything they told us was wrong. Everything, if they told us to go up, we should have went down. If they told us, they tell us light is good. No, darkness is good. Because if you listen to their story, they say when they first arrived here, it was dark. And they said, let there be light. They had to overcome the darkness. And the perspective of just that, everything that they've ever told us is a lie. So,
now, this book you want to get is on, see, all you had to do to get past this devil stuff is study the damn thing, but we don't study nothing. Because we so stuck in religion, we can't get past it. Here's a book called Devils, the Perspectives of Evil in Antiquity and Primitive Christianity, Jeffrey Burton Russell. Now, the devil has horns. You see the horns on the devil. Anybody ever seen the black goddess Hathor or Heru with the horns? That's where they got it from. The Greeks borrowed the horns and put on the god Pan. The Christians trying to turn everything against it wasn't in their religion evil. They turned the picture of Hathor, the golden calf in the Bible, as evil. Later on, they turned the god Pan, which is a later form of the god Typhon, the oldest one, evil. You see what I'm saying? So when they talk about the devil is evil, they're talking about the most ancient God who is God. Jesus said, Satan, get behind me, which means I'm backed by the powers of Satan. Let me explain this. Let me show you a picture of this. You all got to get this stuff and bear witness to it. Let me show you a picture of this. Look, just get you a regular picture of the yin and yang sign so everybody know what I'm talking about. Everybody seen the yin and yang sign. You call it the Kung Fu sign. This side is light. That means Christ. Right? That means Christ. But that's putting the cart before the horse. That's why you couldn't get back to your ancient Jews, because you put the cart before the horse. The light comes from the black. In the beginning, there was blackness, and then there comes light. The black is called Satan. Satan or soot, the black soot. In your head is the medulla oblongata behind your neck, where it's the most concentrated part of the melanin, at the base of the skull and the top of the spine. So when Jesus says, Satan, get behind me, he's saying, I got my battery, which raises the black dot and turns me into Christ. You see what I'm saying? Because from the darkness, you get the light. And without the darkness, you can't get the light. So you've been worshiping the light, and the white boy done locked up all your dark stuff, which is the battery in the British Museum. So you've been worshiping the vehicle, which is a car, but a car is only aluminum and fiberglass. The real stuff that run a car is the carbonated battery and the gas, but the gas comes from crude oil, which is what? Carbon. That's the mysteries of Satan. So when he say Satan, get behind me, it's a metaphysical book talking about the head of the Christ. You are all Christ, because is it not written in your law that you are all gods? The black part where the melanin is called the mouth of God. That's why in autopsy, when a white person dies and they want to know if they're black, they split open the skull and see if they got the black melanin in the base of the skull. This is the battery too. You call a medulla oblongata, the mouth of God. So when he says, Satan, get behind me, he's talking about I'm backed by the powers of my father, Satan. Satan comes from the word soot. Soot on. Soot, which means black, and on Anubis, which is the dog, which means opener, comes from the dog star. It's later on, it's the word Sutek. And Sutek becomes the word Melchizedek. And Jesus is of the order of what? Melchizedek. Melchizedek is Satan. That's why the mystery of the Bible is it ain't talking about no devil up under no ground. Satan simply means the Nubian. When you translate it, bet, prove me right on this, because we're supposed to be grown now. If ain't no devil under no ground, then what the hell the white man talking about when he worship you? He's talking about the mysteries of the ancient black man. It's called a Baphomet. That's what they made the movie The Predator was. And the Predator had what? Dreadlocks. He had a spear. And the only way the Arnold Schwarzenegger could beat the black man is he had to put himself in mud. But the other movie came out in 1990. This one was 8 times worse than the other one. And what they had to do, they had to get a black man to beat him. And they got Danny Glover. And Danny Glover beat him and he took his own boomerang from him. And he drove it in him, and then all the other Baphomets or predators came out. And they gave Danny Glover a gun. Why they didn't kill him? They saying, brother, you one of us. We just got the power and you don't. And when you realize who you are, you one of us. You see what I'm saying? Now we look funny to you because the third dimension is so low until you thinking what you seeing is ugly, and the third dimension is not conducive for this kind of power. So when it comes down here, it turns into a hideous form. It's because the power is too high, because this is an abnormal level. But up in the heavens, we look just like you look here. You see what I'm saying? So the yin and the yang is in the light part, this is you. And in you is the black dot. But when you go back to space, this is you, the damn stars up there. You get it? You get the yin and the yang symbol? This is you. And there's a black dot in you called melanin. But when you return back to your original primal material, you will be a star in heaven, because every man, every woman is a star. The yin and the yang symbol. Now, the Baphomet, the horns came from the goddess Hathor. Now I'm going to show you something here. Listen, look at this. Geiger. Geiger is the person who drew. Geiger is a person who drew stuff for the movie Aliens. They also commissioned him to draw the Necronomicon on what he figured they might look like. And he drew the Baphomet. Now the Baphomet is supposed to be a symbol of the devil. It's a symbol of the white man's devil. They say the devil live up under the ground. Where does Osiris live? In the underground. Where does Osiris? God of the perfect black. Cthulhu is God of the perfect black, which is a form of Osiris. He live up underground. The black souls live in the subterranean world. When the white boy talking about the devil, he's talking about you. And you will rise up and take back your planet. You see what I'm saying? Now, he drew a picture of the Baphomet, and I want to show you these pictures, and I want you to pass these pictures around. This is the pictures of the devil that you usually looking at. Pass these pictures around. Now, I'm going to hold this up. If you take that, if you notice that there, you'll see the horns of Hathor. Now, in here, when I pass these things around, you will see a picture of a horned-looking devil. Now, when you pass the thing around, you're going to look and you're going to see dreadlocks on it. Black hair, dreadlocks. These horns is the horns of the goddess Hathor. In the thing, you're going to see a white piece of light coming out of him, which is a woman. The whiteness, she milk white, not mean white people. When you look in her face, you're going to see it's a black woman with dreadlocks also. Right here, you'll see a picture of the Kundalini. That particular Kundalini that you see right there is what raises you up to your godhood. So when they talking about this is an esoteric teaching, and it ain't got nothing to do with no devil in no underground. He drew the Necronomicon, he drew this back in the 70s. But yet, the book came down from the 70s to like couple $100 to down like $70, which is still too high for 2 or 3 pictures. You see what I'm saying? So I called hell getting these things.
And now you.
Okay, so what was your summary and purpose of sharing it with the fam?
Well, it was more based on
minutes?
it was more based on the yin yang symbol, because we keep touching on that, and the fact that the information that they tell us or how they portray the information, that it's negative. It's something that we should be fearful of. It's something that we should run from. But yet still, all they did is take our science and made it look scary to us, and then tell us, go to God, go to Jesus, because that's the way. When we know now that's the trap, and knowing that what they're calling the devil, the thing that we should be running from, is what they're praying to, is really, like, as he said, it's a dreadlock female, and it's showing that your power, the way that you harness your powers through the chakras. And it's just how they've misrepresented that image is basically what Brother Sean keeps saying, is where information, how they've shown us, they portray it to us, is a lie. And everything they're telling us, we should really be defining it for ourselves, going into our metaphysical mindset and defining it how it should be defined, not taking their scary boogeyman story from the situation. So that's
okay, so what is higher from a chakra and energy perspective? Is it that Abdullah Obligatan or the Christ?
Well, from his perspective, is that you're trying to unlock your Abdullah Obligata by bringing up your energy to unlock that.
Mm-hmm.
Key.
And what happens when you unlock that?
You would, as you said, you would have the potential of what they define as the Christ.
Exactly. I just want to make sure you understood
Okay.
that. Exactly.
I understood that.
Exactly, because the Abdullah Obligatan is the last gateway to your Christ consciousness.
The Christ chakra, correct.
Okay, so your Christ consciousness opens the gateway to infinity.
Right. And your third eye,
and what do they want you scared of? Corona.
Right.
Exactly.
Corona,
That crown chakra.
The divine feminine. Remember what he said? That melanated sister from the light. Remember what he said? That divine feminine is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
The divine feminine, because everybody came from a womb to get here, and the sisters carry the records.
And that's what they want you to be afraid of.
Years ago.
So that's what they're
sisters carry the records. This is why with the BlackRock stuff, what they're doing, they're putting the melanated sisters in the BlackRock. Why? Because it knows that when this angel hits this realm, this corona, it's going to hit who first? The sisters. Exactly. They already know this.
Right.
Exactly. And
fear the sisters rising their chakras, basically, is what they're trying to say.
And I guess I just wanted to point that out because I don't want people to get stuck in that whole Baphomet thing. Because if you know what you know there's a certain segment on this planet that worship the Baphomet, and that's where they're drawing their power from. But what I am telling you is you're supposed to be beyond that.
Facts.
Illuminati?
Yeah, pretty much.
Remember, they can't make it. They're everything that they do is a copycat. Everything they do is off. It's off tune.
Right.
I'm going to try and show them.
They're going to take that science,
you
that
can
magic,
display it, Brother Odel, when you're ready.
To siphon from other people when really you use that to self-generate your energy. You don't need to siphon from another motherfucker.
No, they're trying to siphon from that, and I've got an image of them doing that.
Right. And that's exactly what they do. They want you to raise your chakra in a vibration that they like, and then they siphon off that. Because if you do it how you're supposed to do it, then they can't feed off you. And that's what they don't want. They want you to be able to feed off you.
Exactly. So even with Bobby Hemmett saying, Jesus said, Satan, get behind me. He was explaining the gateways of the chakras. So Satan, get behind me would be the Abdullah Obligaten is first, and then the crown chakra.
That's where Christ is deriving its power from. Because it has to get behind him to give him the power to go forward.
It's a gateway. You can look at it that way, but it's a gateway. It's just another gateway that you unlock.
Nicknamed the mouth of God. So you literally like that the throat chakra right there. You're calling the gate open before it even gets there. That's why it's like
exactly
get behind me, mouth of God, medulla.
Right.
The throat would be that gate if you would look at it from that perspective.
Right. So he was just describing to you all the raising of the consciousness.
Right.
That's all. Because the ultimate consciousness, it is that crown chakra. We've gone over that. Remember when I told y'all that soft spot in babies' heads, when babies are young, how it's really, really open. And then the older we get, the smaller it gets. So we know these things from a physical perspective and your astral body perspective as well. Because when you're moving in and out of your body also, and you're spinning your particular chakras, you're going through that crown when you get to the ultimate level.
Yes, exactly. And that's why they do the baptizing and pour the water, Piscean construct over the head. We've covered this. Keep going, sister.
Exactly. No, you pretty much said it. So at the end of the day, the level you are supposed to be on, it's not at the Baphomet level.
You shouldn't be seeing it from that perspective.
That's why I just be chuckling when people be in awe of all of these secret societies and they're throwing up, I ain't gonna throw up the symbol, but y'all know those that know.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing at that because that ain't the true power.
Nope.
That's not the true power.
They're limited. Mm-hmm. They only give their secret societies Illuminati. They give their
the furthest they can go.
Yeah, and they only give them a bit of that. Let's talk about the Freemason, the sons of Freemasonry.
Yeah, because isn't that a Abdullah Obligaten? Don't that represent the 33?
Mm-hmm, with the 33 degrees parallel, and the 30 degrees in the vertebrae in the back. Yeah, and Yeshua died, or Yeshua, or they're called Jesus or Jesus, died at 33. And they're talking about the 33 and the 33 vertebrae in your back. They're talking about the body. They're talking about the body and the chakras, and that's in Revelation. I've got a talk on Revelation where I'm breaking down all the chakras because it's mentioned in the book. They're breaking it all down in the book. But the thing is, they're limited because I showed you, due to that realm stuff I showed before, with the imagery that I've showed, that they're limited to that realm stuff. And they know that they can only go so far and they can't go any further than that. But those who come from beyond the realm can go beyond that. That's what I was being shown recently when I've been showing all the stuff we've been talking about. But go ahead.
Right. And I was just going to say, that's why in the Matrix, they keep showing you them pulling the plug out of the back of their, where they're pulling that plug from. The Abdullah Obligaten. And once that plug is pulled, it's like, whoa, I see everything.
Well, that's how they jack in now to spirit, essentially.
That's how they're running the aura fields right now in the realm. That's why I'm showing that stuff with the Vatican, like when I came on a few weeks ago, where it's laid out as a grid. Remember, I showed you the Wayne Herschel stuff where the Pope comes out on Solid Invictus. Everything is laid out as a grid. And the species down here are programmed into that grid, and this energy is being taken off world. I keep telling everybody this stuff, into that realm stuff, into that Saturnian sun, which is what the sister's been talking about. Go ahead.
Exactly. No, and I just wanted to just add on to that. That's why we keep telling you over and over and over, and I'm not going to deviate from that. When I say get off the board, that's what I mean. You're supposed to be operating at a crown chakra level. If you want to create, you have to create from the crown chakra level.
Facts.
Anything else that you're messing around with in them other gates, you're going to have to deal with those other folks.
I'll say like this, Auntie. There's the breath of the breath of life and the power of thought. Yeah, the power of thought and the breath of life. Basically, we have the ability to bring our manifestations into reality, where they have to work to get their stuff together. They need technology. We can bring manifestations, things into reality through manifestation, through using our minds. We have that, and then we can utter that, and then we use the throat chakra to utter that into existence. So you first think it, and then it comes through your crown, your throat chakra, and then it's manifested through your words, through the sound vibration. So you have to start with the thought first. It's not physical. The war is not physical. It even says that in your Bible. You're fighting principalities.
And I guess when folks keep talking about, well, what can we do? Well, what do you mean, what can we do? What do you want to do? Why haven't you created what you want to do?
Go and thought and meditate on and build that.
If you can't do it here, it's not going to happen. That's why nothing gets done.
And if you could think it, it can happen.
No, not can. It will. If you think it, it will. Because again, we went over that with the Alphabet Boys told you.
Yes.
They showed you through your thoughts, you create that hologram.
So be careful what you're thinking.
So that's already creating it. So I'm going to say again, why are we asking what we need somebody else to do? Why can't you do what you want to do?
Laziness.
Why can't you flip over the board and build something new?
Comfort.
The repetition also plays a big part because they talk about how the music is so toxic for the people. And it's all about the music that they're listening to and the repetition of that negative. And then they're trying to figure out, well, why am I not moving forward? Because the repetition of the words that you're listening to
your thought
are affecting that. You have to
if you're taking that in, absolutely.
Right. You have
because
to be the repetition.
Disrupts what you're trying to create. If you get distracted, then your hologram is going to fall and it's going to shatter.
Think about it. When you're studying, you listen to jazz music. Do you listen to drill music when you're trying to study? No.
Just take the music out of the picture for a second.
It's the words.
You do this every day. Some of us. When you're thinking about, you know what, I really like that car. This is the color I want it in. You step out the door. If you in a car, you see that same exact thing drive by. Yeah. If you're thinking about a song and you sitting in your car and then all of a sudden that song come up. If you're thinking about a person and all of a sudden that person calls you or texts you, you do it all the time.
Yeah. All the time.
It is what you put your energy on.
Your mindset.
Nothing can distract you but you. You are a creator.
Well, they're trying fucking hard.
So why aren't you creating? Why are you asking someone to recognize you to create? They're never going to recognize you to create beyond what they could ever create. Why aren't you just doing it?
Repetition.
So I'm thinking they're attacking the corona part with their little hoochie coochies.
I'm going to back up again.
That's a fact.
Why aren't you doing it?
It's hard.
I can respect that. I can respect that answer.
Themselves.
I can respect it's hard. I need to practice to do it. I don't believe I can do it. I can respect those answers. But the days, I'm not on that page anymore. I'm not on the day page anymore. Because either you believe that you're that powerful or you don't. And if you don't, that's okay. Keep going the route of asking somebody for something. Keep knocking on somebody's door for a system that was built for enslavement, not only on the physical level, but on the cosmic level as well. Keep doing what you're doing.
It's also conditioning.
They setting up another wheel for you to spin around that motherfucker. Yep. I don't know if it's gonna be some 26,960 years. I don't know what the new setup. Keep spinning around that motherfucker. That's your right to do.
They don't have to hold on to that number. Contract's over.
No, but apparently people don't know it's over because you're still knocking on the door, asking for permission.
Consent and contract. Yeah.
Which means you're a child.
Instead of creating.
Yes. Sister,
you don't have to pick up no sign. You don't have to beg nobody. You ain't got to cuss nobody out.